What's up, family? This is Yuda. I'm not going to try to take up too much of your time, but I got a sister here that I've been reaching out to, I know at least 3 times, to have her send me an email so I could send her my number so we could talk. The reason I need to talk to her is because I didn't want to expose her out there like I'm about to do today, but she won't respond. I've sent messages after message, and she don't respond. So I was going through my feed today, and I ran across this. Now, we've been going back and forth about the Sabbath almost since the day she subscribed to the channel. Now, this is a good sister, don't get me wrong. But clearly she has some issues, and she goes from me to somebody else, get screwed up, come back to me, get straight, go back, get screwed up again, and I don't get it. I don't get it. So today I'm going to read her comment, or this was her post. She's Sister Leah Yehuda Yisrael. Every seventh day is Saturday. That's what she said. Every seventh day is Saturday. I would like for her to go to the book of Genesis, because I've got it right here, and just show me, show us, show everybody Saturday in the scriptures without changing the Creator's word. And don't go to the New Testament. We all know that book is fake. Go to Genesis, starting at chapter 1, go all the way to chapter 2. Show me one time that you see Saturday in that book, or any book, any translated canonical book. Show me Saturday. If the Creator didn't tell you Saturday, you should not be calling Saturday. Who told you that Saturday was the seventh day? Who told you that? Because don't lie on the Creator. He didn't tell you that. Genesis is word for word what he said. We're going to look at it. She said, my son Yah shared this with me. I'm just look for the truth. But the day changing every month makes no sense. Listen, the Sabbath don't change. It's the same freaking day every month. It is the Gregorian calendar that changes. That's where you get screwed. The Sabbath calendar, the Creator's calendar, it never changes. It's just like nature. It starts one season, stops, and restarts. It's the Gregorian calendar where the days change. We only use the names of those days for people like you who can't understand that you count the days. You don't name them. What would you do if you didn't have a calendar, period? What would you do? How would you know which day is which? You would have to count them. It's not a fortunate thing that the enemy brought along a paper calendar. In the beginning, there was no paper calendar. It was the sun, the moon, and the stars. There was no Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. There was no such thing. Your enemy, the people you're listening to, they're the ones that put that there. And you stuck on it. You want to stay there? Be my guest. She said, but the day changing every month makes no sense. Get rid of the Gregorian calendar. You won't have to worry about it. Yah made weeks by 7. Yes, he did. That's why we count the year of Jubilee in Leviticus chapter 25, verse 8 to 13 by 7. Who's arguing that? We're not talking about that. We're talking about naming the days that changes. You say they change every month. You haven't realized it's not the Creator's calendar that changes every month. It is your Gregorian. Take all the names of the days off the Gregorian calendar. See what you have left. You'll be going right back to Genesis. That's where you should be. Sabbaths of years. 7 is vital. Tell us something we don't know. He said, work 6 and rest the 7th. So no matter what day that is to someone, it will always land the same day of the week. Later, if obeying Yah by working 6 and resting the 7th. You're having a problem knowing what the 6 are. If you don't know what the 6 are, you do not know what the 7th is. The only way you will know what the 7th is to learn how to count the days by the new moon, not by the Gregorian. That's what got you screwed up. I have reached out to you 3 times. I have asked you, give me an email so I can send you my number and I can talk to you. You will not respond. Then you bring Deuteronomy, Exodus 20, verse 9 to 11, 23 and 12, 31 and 15, 34 and 21, 35 and 2. You have no idea what the hell you're talking about. Leviticus 23 and 3, that don't prove your point. You think it do. That's what messed you up. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verses 13 and 14. Deuteronomy chapter 16, verses 8. Nada. All that tells me is you have no idea what you read. Then you bring up the fact that David took shewbread on the 3rd day, which was not a Sabbath. She said it shows they didn't calculate Sabbath on the 7th day of the month. That's because it was not a Sabbath. This was not even about Sabbath. Let me show you what this was about. Let me show you what this was about. People, I don't know, man. People, gosh. Look. 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verse 6. This is the context. Listen closely. David was fleeing from Saul. He arrived at Nob and asked the priest Ahimelech for some food and a weapon. Ahimelech initially hesitated to provide David with the holy bread, the showbread, from the tabernacle, even though it was only for a priest. Ain't got nothing to do with no Sabbath day. David in turn claims to be on a mission for Saul to justify his request. This act highlights the tension between religious law and a human need. That's what this was about. That's what 1 Samuel chapter 21 and verse 1 to 6 was about. David misusing the priest. He didn't have to do that, but he felt like he did, so he lied. I'm going to show you where he lied. This act highlights the tension between religious law and a human need. The priest knew that under normal circumstances that they were not allowed to share that bread with anybody who was not a priest. But under David's circumstances, the priest made an exception. That's what it means when it says tension between religious law and human need. The Creator will allow for certain situations to break certain rules. If a person is starving to death and it's a day that is not supposed to be fed, or if it's a showbread that belongs to the priest, they can and they are allowed to make an exception to that law. Had nothing to do with a Sabbath day. This is how confused you are. Listen, this is David's request. David, pursued by King Saul, seeks refuge at Nob, where the priests are located. He approaches Ahimelech, the priest, and asks for some food and a weapon. Now, Ahimelech hesitated for a minute, but he thought about it, and Ahimelech, initially surprised by David's presence alone, is hesitant to provide food, as it was not common bread. However, he provided David with the showbread from the tabernacle. What's that got to do with the Sabbath? David's deception. David lied to Ahimelech, claiming to be on a secret mission for Saul. This lie, though seemingly innocuous at the time, has consequences later, but it didn't have not one damn thing to do with a Sabbath. I would show you the significance of showbread, don't need to. Tension between the law and the need. This passage demonstrates that there's tension between strict religious law and practical needs of individuals. Do you understand what that means? It got nothing to do with Sabbath. And all those scriptures you brought forth, you should go back and read them again. This time, open up, because you got everything backwards. This passage demonstrates the tension between strict religious law and the practical needs of individuals, particularly in a time of crisis. That's how merciful our Creator is. He's so merciful with us that even under the most stringent situations, he will give us an exception. But it ain't got nothing to do with a Sabbath. So 1 Samuel chapter 21, verse 1-6 has absolutely nothing to do with a Sabbath day, period.